Thursday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. Happy to be here on a Thursday. 7 days left in the month of July. Can you believe it? I feel like July 4th was yesterday, but it wasn't. It was 20 days ago, almost 3 weeks ago already at this point. Unbelievable. Happy July 24th to everybody. Lots to get to today. We're going to talk about these major ICE raids, because it is one of my favorite things, that and Spygate, of course, but the major ICE raids that have taken place in Denver, Colorado. So we've got that. We've got, of course, updates from Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard. I love calling her that. Top Rope Tulsi, because she's loading up the people's elbow, right? And she's dropping it from the top rope on the deep state to the point where James Clapper is on CNN saying he's nervous. Oh, I feel like I'm going to get prosecuted. You feel like you're going to get prosecuted because you are going to get prosecuted because you're a conspirator. Again, we broke down that the treason charges are not likely. I'm not saying they're definitely not going to happen, but I don't think they're going to be treason charges just because it doesn't meet the legal threshold for treason. Now, that's not stopping everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people on social media for saying it, because Trump obviously used the word treason and, whatever. But from a legal standpoint, it wasn't treason, right? So we broke that down a couple days ago. If you missed it, I think it was Tuesday that we did that. We broke down the whole treason thing. So we have the ICE raids. You got an update out of Boulder, Colorado as well. Updates from Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard, of course. Some reassuring words, comforting words from J.D. Vance about this administration and how it feels about amnesty. You know how I feel about amnesty. It's the Hell No song. And of course, it wouldn't be, we can't avoid it now because I've been very explicit about it over on X, which is the land of sensationalism. It's quite disappointing how many otherwise smart people fall for total bullcrap over on that platform. And you know why? It's because the algorithm rewards sensationalism. You can make things up. They're not true. And then people can repost it, and it garners a lot of attention. The problem is, the truth winds up being overshadowed by the lies. And I look no further than last December when everybody on that platform thought everything in the sky was a drone from Iran or something that was trying to find a nuke that went missing in the United States. And I'm like, whoa. So I came up with an idea. So you have my favorite approach to a lot of these situations is Occam's razor, where the simplest answer that requires the least amount of assumptions, is usually the right answer. So what is the simplest answer as to why it's wet outside? Maybe it rained last night, right? That's a simple answer. Or maybe there's dew. What is a not simple answer? What does not follow Occam's razor? What it requires a ton of assumptions. Your neighbor wanted to prank you, so he walked over to your house 15 times with buckets and dumped water on your lawn, right? That requires a lot of assumptions, okay? The internet's razor is the most sensational answer with the most amount of assumptions has to be the truth, because anything else is just too convenient to be the truth. It's backwards at this point. And the reason I bring this up is because at the end of the show, we're going to go over something, and I've apparently offended hundreds of people by saying this, and I don't really care because I believe this is the truth, okay? This story about Emmanuel Macron's wife is the dumbest story I have ever encountered online. Dumber than the drones. Emmanuel Macron's wife may very well be an ugly woman. That does not make her a dude. Oh, you didn't see Candace Owens' series. If Candace Owens' series was so conclusive, why is she being sued over it? Well, Emmanuel Macron, they lost appeals in France. Had nothing to do with biology. Look this stuff up. okay? Had nothing to do with the biology of Brigitte Macron. The reason why the cases were overturned in France on appeal, and by the way, the appeal is now being appealed, but that's another story. The reason why look it up. I'm not making it up. I did the research yesterday. The reason why Macron and his wife lost those cases in France it has nothing to do with Brigitte's biology and everything to do with the fact that the women they were suing on appeal, it was ruled that they weren't making those statements out of malice. That, in other words, they were just kind of going with the flow online and repeating what were already public rumors about Brigitte Macron. And she's a public figure, and it didn't cause the damages. And these two, women that were sued didn't do it out of malice. They ruled that they did it on appeal, by the way, in good faith. That's not what Candace did. She monetized it. She hyped it. She used it for engagement. She sold merch about it. And then yesterday doubles down and says, Brigitte, you were born a man and you will die a man. This woman is going to lose in court. I'm just letting you know. And when she loses in court and when all of her sycophants say the trial was rigged by Israel, just know that you heard it here first, okay? This story about, and I don't like the Macrons, although, however, I will say about Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte, it's kind of based that they consider being called a tranny defamatory. It's kind of based. Kind of based. I can't lie. Kind of based. This story, if you go on there and you say, I don't think Brigitte Macron's a man, you don't understand the amount of hate that I got last night for this. What do you mean? What do you mean she's not a man? Look at her. Yeah, she's ugly. But she's not a dude. By the way, 72 years old. The allegation is that she was, quote unquote, transed in her 14, 15 years. That is 50 plus years ago. How much of that was going on 50 years ago? This isn't like it was mainstream 2023 and everybody was chopping you-know-what off. We got to be better than this. And I'm happy that there are massive amounts of people on X that are unfollowing me because they're offended that I think Brigitte Macron is actually a woman. Fine. If that is the straw that breaks the camel's back, please leave. Don't announce it, but please go. Whether or not she groomed Emmanuel Macron because she was his teacher, fine. But Candace Owens has made these allegations that she was born a guy. She's actually a blood relative to Macron. Like, she's not going to prove that. It's crazy. It's crazy. And now being sued for it. And I believe wholeheartedly she's going to lose. I believe wholeheartedly she's going to lose. And again, now everyone brought up the whole Michelle Obama thing. Well, how come, Michelle's not suing? I don't know of anybody in the United States who has put together a documentary and monetized the story about Michelle Obama being a guy, right? The allegation. I've seen jokes. I've seen memes. You can't sue somebody over a meme, right? Especially if you're a public figure, right? If some anonymous account makes a meme that makes, Michelle Obama look like, Big Mike, whatever, she can't sue over that. That's not going to cause quote unquote damages. But when Candace Owens, a platform with millions of people who follow her for whatever reason, makes the accusation that a public figure, Brigitte Macron, is a dude and is related and this whole thing, and then monetizes it and sells merch. And again, I'm sorry, people are like, well, what about free speech? Defamation is not protected by the First Amendment. Accuracy matters. It's like all these idiots. I mean, if any of these idiots had a bigger platform who are accusing me of being paid, I could go after them. But they have tiny platforms and they don't matter and nobody takes them seriously. So there's no damages there. It's just, these are just stupid allegations. Oh, you're paid by Israel. You're paid by this. I was actually told, I learned a new thing about myself yesterday, Brennan, on Twitter.
Tell me.
I'm going to Israel apparently with a bunch of influencers. News to me.
He was invited.
I mean, I was invited by news, but I can't go. Apparently, I'm going.
Who said?
Somebody. They don't realize I don't have a passport, but that's okay.
I think it'll be really, really cool, but it's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. This is the things that go viral. Anyway, we're going to get to ICE raids because these are good stories. We're going to do all that and more. But Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. It's OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. Explore the wonderful quality of Faith, Farm, and Freedom products with a special limited time 15% discount on your entire purchase. Products like the Outlaw Soap will leave you smelling like a felon. The Outlaw Soap over at OFPFarms.com. Take a peek at the lineup from OFPFarms.com, America's go-to soap company. They don't just have soaps, by the way. Where is it? I'm feeling all in my pockets looking for it. Here it is. Goat Kisses Lip Balm. We had a duel with Matt Brown's wife, right? With this. Yeah. We were like, shing.
She whipped out her...
on guard.
What did Bad Moon say?
On guard. Her rooster.
She whipped out her rooster.
We were fighting at the table.
I think he's driving today, so he's not in the chat.
That's okay. It's an excused absence, no knife.
Yep.
Take a look at their entire lineup, OFPFarms.com. Now, whether you're looking for gentle skincare or thoughtful gifts, OFP Farms products bring together expert care and good values to make your daily routine better. Do not miss the chance to enjoy premium products that support your health and ethical choices for the entire family. OFP Farms is the small farm with big love. Go to OFPFarms.com. Use the promo code Sean, SHAWN. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN for 15% off. That is OFPFarms.com. You see it right there on your screen. Promo code Sean, SHAWN for 15% off. Thank you, OFP Farms, for being a part of the show. We're going to get to the ice raids in just a second because ice, baby. Bung, bung,
when
bung,
we get to that, I have a
bung.
funny story from one of our friends in the chat.
Oh, we have a story?
Yeah, about ice. But you do what you got to do first. When we get to that, I'll tell you.
Okay. All right, sounds good. We'll get to ice in a second. Before we do that, I want to talk to you about our friends over at Silent. It's slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, slnt.com/Sean. Take a look right there. Okay. That is the website, silent.com/Sean, folks. Between the government, big tech, corporate America, and criminals. Your privacy is compromised 24/7. There is no other option. No other option but to protect yourself. And that starts with Silent. They have these Faraday products. You ever heard of that? It blocks radiation from, if you have the pants or the bag, you put your device in there, blocks all the radiation, blocks the ingoing and outgoing signals, blocks being tracked and hacked. Mm-hmm. I think that's how my high school physics teacher blocked cell phone signals back in the day. He must have had a secret and put Faraday stuff in the ceiling because we had drop ceilings in our high school. So Silent's got these Faraday products, and they block all incoming and outgoing signals so that your devices are invisible and safe from the outside world. From their backpacks, phone sleeves, and even pants, patented signal blocking technology blocks wireless signals, giving you peace of mind that your data does not end up in the wrong hands. Just put your device inside it, close it up, and that's all you've got to do. You're safeguarded from unauthorized access. Go Silent today at slnt.com/Sean to get 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. Stay ahead of what is coming. Stay ahead of what is coming by going to Silent, slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November for 15% off at checkout and free shipping on qualifying orders. That's Silent, slnt.com/Sean, slnt.com/SHAWN. Okay, ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun. I love these stories about ICE. I love these stories about illegals getting arrested. I love stories about illegals getting deported. I love stories about how bad these illegals were and the crimes that they committed. Before we get to that story, what is the story that you have in the chat?
Okay.
Let me put the chat on the screen.
Well, it's from the beginning of the
I know,
show.
I'm just going to put them.
Candace, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Candace from Gettysburg.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Brennan, can you tell Sean we were in Gettysburg last week and we found out that there was an ICE raid at the Montezuma Mexican restaurant there in May. How fun is that?
There was an ICE raid at Gettysburg? Yeah. Pickets charged, baby. That's it.
So I thought you'd like that.
That is funny. They should have sent the illegals to Devil's Den. Let them cook for a little bit. That's right. Nice.
Your favorite place and your favorite thing.
My favorite place and my favorite thing. You know what? Get those illegals. What is a Mexican restaurant? Get those illegals away from my Gettysburg.
At a Mexican restaurant, too.
Taco time. Okay. Well, too bad it wasn't El Taco Loco.
I know.
Gettysburg edition. Yeah. All right. That's interesting. Okay, so there was an ICE raid in May in Gettysburg.
Yep.
That's good.
That's the info that we've gotten.
All right, that's the inside scoop.
Yeah.
The inside scoop. Well, we had one in Denver yesterday. ICE arrested 243 illegal aliens in Denver, including members of Tren de Aragua, right? Tren de Aragua, TDA. Nasty people, bad hombres. We got to get these bad hombres the hell out of our country. Federal officers targeted. They also got child sex offenders, which I was told the Trump administration is covering for because people, of course, have to be a-holes on the internet. Human traffickers as well. Federal officers targeted illegal immigrants with criminal charges and or convictions, many of whom were released from local jails due to Colorado's sanctuary laws, according to Ice Baby. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested 243 criminal illegal aliens during a major operation in the Denver metro area, which ran from July 12th to July 20th, the agency announced in a Wednesday press release. Federal officials targeted illegals with criminal charges and or convictions who were released from jails, according to, in accordance with Colorado's sanctuary city laws. Quote, this operation highlights our unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety and security of our communities, said Robert Gadian, or Guadian, ICE Enforcement Removal Operations, ERO, Denver Field Office Director. Quote, by partnering with federal agencies, we have successfully apprehended individuals who pose a significant threat to the public and its safety. We will continue to work diligently to combat crime and uphold the rule of law. Many of the criminal aliens ICE arrested during this operation had previously been released into the Denver metro area by local county jails directly into the community because of Colorado's sanctuary laws that prevent sheriffs from cooperating with ICE. At least 50 of the 243 apprehended illegals are subject to removal orders, according to ICE. Federal Immigration Agency said some of the migrants are confirmed or suspected members of gangs and transnational criminal organizations or drug trafficking organizations. This includes known or suspected involvement with Tren de Aragua. Remember, Colorado is where they took over the apartment building. And you had, do you hear yourself, Martha, right? Los Zetas, another gang, and the Sinaloa drug cartel, all of which are designated foreign terrorist organizations. Let's see. 13 additional arrests included one alien wanted for murder. Sounds like a nice guy. One wanted for human trafficking. Another one sounds like a nice guy. 5 wanted and or convicted of sex-related offenses, including sexual assault and sexual exploitation of a minor. 9 subjects charged with or convicted of drug-related offenses. 13 charged with and or convicted of assault. 8 charged with and or convicted of burglary, robbery, and motor vehicle theft. And 17 with charges and or convictions related to driving under the influence. Other crimes include criminal impersonation, carrying a concealed weapon, false reporting, child cruelty, intimidation, hit and run, illegal entry, and illegal re-entry, according to the ICE press release. The apprehended migrants were from the following countries: Mexico, Venezuela, Honduras, Nicaragua, Colombia, El Salvador, Spain, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Romania, Georgia, not the state, which is in some places that's look like another country. Georgia, Ethiopia, Kyrgyzstan, Algeria, China, and Jordan. So you have them from a number of countries here, and they have been arrested. Those people don't sound like very nice people, right? As 43 Gators says in the chat, sounds like a nice group of people. Right? You know,
who wouldn't want to be there?
Who wouldn't want them in their communities, right? Those racist Chicagoans, Coloradans, don't want those bad hombres. It's very nice that we get together. They're going to play mahjong, right, in the HOA lobby. You know, there's going to be no problem there.
Sip iced tea.
Just unbelievable. And you have leftists who want you to believe that these people are in the country, they're just looking for a better life, or they're just looking to further their life of crime, and they can do it undetected in the United States because the Biden administration didn't give us sugar honey iced tea. Another one from a couple of days ago. We touched on this one yesterday, but we'll go more in depth with it now. ICE agents again in Colorado arrest a Mexican illegal alien with 21 prior criminal convictions. Anybody remember when LeBron James went to the Miami Heat back in the summer of, I think it was 2009 or something? He had that huge decision on ESPN and he made a whole thing out of it. Okay. And they started bragging about how they're going to be a super team, and LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and all these people. They were on the doing this interview, and they were saying how many championships they were going to win. And he just was like, well, we're not going to win 5, not 6, not 7. It's like this with this guy. Not 1 conviction, not 2 convictions, not 3 convictions, not 4, on and on and on. Not 18, not 19, not 20, 21 prior criminal convictions.
Low.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. And you have the left, they go, they're not going after criminals. They're going on to the farms and they're taking away the people who are picking the food. I wonder what America's going to do without this guy, right? I wonder what America's going to do. You have Sonny Hostin on The View who said America's facing an existential crisis because Stephen Colbert got fired. You have now people saying, well, if you deport the illegals, I'm going hungry, right? Everyone's going to be hungry, right? Because there's going to be no food left. Yeah, America's really going to suffer because this dude got deported. On Tuesday, the Department of Homeland Security officials announced the arrest of several illegal aliens, including 52-year-old Federico Fong Nunez of Mexico. Fong Nunez has been convicted of 21 crimes in Boulder, Colorado, including burglary, aggravated assault, and felony menacing. President Trump and Secretary Noem have unleashed ICE to target the worst of the worst. Our brave law enforcement is facing an 830% increase in assaults against them, and yet they continue to arrest violent criminals and drug traffickers every single day. The Department of Homeland Security's Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement, "We will not allow sanctuary politicians, activist hacks, or rioters to stand in our way of protecting the American people." In addition, ICE agents arrested 34-year-old illegal alien Luis Alberto Leonardo Cortez Rivera. That's a five-banger right there. That's a Yahtzee of Mexico in the sanctuary city of Los Angeles, California. Cortez Rivera has been convicted 9 times of crimes in the United States, including grand theft, burglary, and tampering with a vehicle. ICE agents in Texas arrested 46-year-old illegal alien Ruero Falco. That's only 2 names. That's a lot better. Of Honduras, whose criminal record includes a conviction for possession of methamphetamine, and 21-year-old illegal alien John Jervis Chavez de la Rosa, who has been convicted of assault causing bodily injury. In the sanctuary state of Maryland, ICE agents arrested 21-year-old illegal alien Olinda Micaela Gonzalez Ortiz of Guatemala, whose criminal history includes a conviction for a hit and run. These are the people that the left wants to keep in your country. I love doing this every single day, going down the list of names of people that got in, that have been in here, that are not here for a better life. Well, they want their lives to be better, but they're not here to contribute to society, that are violent criminals, and they want these people to remain in the country. My question is, how many more of these types of people are there, right? How many more of these illegal aliens with 21 convictions are there? How many more of these illegal aliens like the ones in Colorado who have convictions or accusations and charges of child sex assault, child sex offenders, human traffickers, gang members, drug traffickers, people who are stealing vehicles, people who are, what they said, felony menacing, assault, all of these different things, grand theft. How many of these people are there in our country? It looks like millions. Don't let the left tell you that, these are just people that they're coming in, they're claiming asylum, they're looking for a better life. There's a process. Follow the process. That's all anybody is asking us and asking them to do. Now, the A word has been floating around the administration for the last month and a half, which is amnesty, right? We don't like amnesty, right? We have Maria Salazar, who is saying, Mr. President, you need to give these people dignity. No, we don't need to give these people dignity. We need to give them a dignified flight out of the country, okay? I'm not saying to treat them inhumanely. They broke our laws. We do not reward law breaking. Why? because nobody's above the law. We've got the rooster, right? We've got the commissioner right there. That's law enforcement. Wrong way. That's law enforcement right there. The rooster on your screen. Nobody is above the law, right? So here's what J.D. Vance said about amnesty yesterday. This is very nice. He was on the All In podcast, and they tried asking him a loaded question. What about the opinion that people, should be given amnesty and given a shot at a better life? Are you considering our opinions on it? Here's how J.D. Vance answered that question. He answered it beautifully.
And President Trump, I think, came out and said, hey, we maybe should appreciate some of these immigrants who've been here for 20 years and maybe give them a path to citizenship, maybe think about restaurants and farms and maybe show some compassion to those people. And I think the objection, perhaps, that some of us have is the style in which you're doing it. A little aggressive, what happened in LA, and you seem to maybe internally in the administration found a middle ground, maybe, and listen to the other side and maybe our opinions on it.
Well, first, the Trump administration obviously is a big group of people with a lot of different opinions, and we all have to talk about this stuff and try to come up with the right decision. But the administration, the decision maker is, of course, one man.
Yeah.
And while he listens to everybody, he's ultimately going to make the decisions that he thinks are best for the country, and then we go and execute that after, of course, having a big conversation around the inner circle. You know, what the president has said is, number one, we're not going to do amnesty in this country. We're actually not going to tell people who have come into the country illegally that they're allowed to break our laws and be rewarded for it. We're just not going to do that. But there are a whole host of other ways when we talk to, agricultural industries and others where they say, well, we really need labor. Well, there are a whole host of ways in which you can try to solve those problems. My favorite solution for those problems is automation, right? I actually think there's a lot of evidence that the American agricultural economy is a little behind the eight ball when it comes to using technology. There are ways where we're talking about facilitating the use of automation. So we're not going to have amnesty, but we also recognize that there are a lot of industries out there we want to thrive. And I think the president is trying to strike the right balance. And Jason, you said something about compassion, and I think this is really important. I do think that we have to make a stronger argument here. There's nothing discompassionate, or there's nothing hateful about enforcing your own borders. It's a question of, do you facilitate, thank you guys, but do you facilitate these Mexican drug cartels, the drug trafficking that they're engaged in?
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
The hundreds of thousands, I'm not saying you would ever say this, but the hundreds of thousands of missing children under the Biden administration, the fact that some of these young girls are being sex trafficked by Mexican drug cartels. When you enforce the nation's border laws, that is the most compassionate thing to do, both for your own people, but also for the people who are illegally trafficked.
Yeah, I would agree on the border.
I'll tell you what, 48's looking better and better every day, huh? No amnesty. No amnesty, right? There are laws in place in this country that you need to follow in order to come into this country legally. If you don't do that, the rooster comes and gets you. Nobody's above the law. The rooster comes out and gets you, and you get deported, okay? Could you imagine them getting arrested by, hey, is an angry rooster coming after me, man?
You know what their names remind me of?
What?
Do you know that song, John Jacob Jingle
Yes! Luis Rivera Martinez Hernandez. His name is my name, too. That's great. I like that. That's pretty funny. It's almost as funny as, I met with the Prime Minister of Japan, right? We had a beautiful deal. We've got a trade deal. He said to me, sir, Donald-san, wax on, wax off. I didn't realize Donald-san was going to be that funny, but it was. You were cracking up Michael Patrick Leahy yesterday.
It burst out of me, and I was trying to be quiet because I didn't want to mess up the show.
Right. But yes,
so funny.
Donald-san, there it is. Yes, J.D. Vance with a perfect answer. There is nothing more compassionate than enforcing our laws. We have our laws for a reason. And what is the phrase that we've used a lot on this show? Laws only matter when they're enforced. If your laws aren't enforced, they don't matter. If people get away with everything that is in violation of the law, then you really don't have laws, right? You know, if trespassing wasn't against the law, more people would trespass. If bank robbery wasn't against the law, or the laws that criminalize bank robbery weren't in place, more people would probably be robbing banks, right? It would be an easy way to access money that some people would need. Banks wouldn't have any money because there would be no laws protecting the banks. This is, it's plain and simple. And we saw what happened during the Biden administration. The law, immigration law, right, was disregarded. It was not enforced. So what happened? You had millions of people, tens of millions of people, take advantage of the fact that the laws that were in place weren't being enforced. The theory of get rid of laws and more people will follow, those laws and you won't have a problem is not true. AOC said that, right? Well, if we don't make illegal immigration illegal, then there'll be no more illegal immigrants. You idiot, right? You're stupid. Of course, then it's not illegal because now there's no law making it illegal. But the people are still coming into the country. And the problem is you don't know who the hell it is that's coming in here. So what happened? They broke the law. They came here. ICE is now rounding them up and getting them out of here. Juan Rivera Martinez Hernandez. His gang is my gang too. Out. Goodbye. Afuera. That's what we say to them. Okay. That is pretty funny. The John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. That is really funny because it is. They have a bunch of names. It's great. I know it's a cultural thing. I don't, if you're Latino, don't take offense to it. Please. We do it because these illegals, these names, some of them, we had a 5-banger today. Oh, what was it? We had a five name person. Where is that one? I'm trying to see where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Luis Alberto Leonardo Cortez Rivera. I mean, I didn't know when it was going to stop. It was just name after name after name. It's a cultural thing. I get it. I'm not making fun of Latinos. It's just funny. When we read the names, it's always people with a very long name. Yeah. So that's it. All right. That's it on the ICE front. Big raids in Denver. Effective raids in Denver. We're very happy about it. We're going to get to Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard in just a second. Before we do that, I'd like to talk to you about our friends over at Patriot Mobile. It is patriotmobile.com/Farish, Farash, patriotmobile.com/Farish, Farash. Look, I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service. There's a lot of choices, a lot of competition out there, but here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that is Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main major networks. Don't just take my word for it. We've got folks in the chat who have Patriot Mobile. They love it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who have made the switch and are now supporting causes that they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile, America's largest Christian conservative cell provider. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number. Keep your plan. Keep your phone or upgrade your phone. You could do that too when you switch to Patriot Mobile. They're all U.S.-based support team. That may be the number one thing about it. All U.S.-based support team, gotta love it, is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Farish, Farash. Use the promo code Farish for a free month of service. That is patriotmobile.com/Farash. Farish, or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. That is patriotmobile.com/Farash. All right, we're going to get to Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard, okay? Before we do that, I'm going to kindly ask that the folks who are watching the show, the over 3,000 people that are watching the show right now, hit that thumbs up. I want to show you Clover, okay? And we'll do that if we get to 1,000 likes in real time. We can do it by hitting what, like a 300 batting average? We can do. I miss Matt in our chat because he's driving. We don't text and drive.
Yeah.
Stay safe and don't
10 and 2.
By the way, don't cross a double yellow in front of a cop either. Okay, because not a good idea. No. We just happened to have gotten the right cop yesterday. Maybe we'll tell that story later. I don't know, or maybe we'll start giving. We'll start something else for that. All right. We will get the Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard because she's warming up the people's elbow, and she's launching off the top of the steel cage, right on top of the deep state. People's elbow. Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard is she's on an absolute warpath, and I love it. And we're going to get to that. Some of the information that came out yesterday. Before we do that, I got a message from somebody you may know, you may recognize. It's the great Jeremy Harrell on behalf of purehealthresearch.com. Take a look.
Hey guys, what's going on? I got an incredible offer here for you from Pure Health Research. This is going to blow your mind. Look, I know so many people out there, especially as we get older, we want to drop a few pounds. We lose a little energy. We lose a little testosterone. We lose a little, estrogen. We just lose as we get older. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to gain, and this message is just for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to what? Make America healthy again. They are aligned with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s mission, and I'm aligned with that. Their two best-selling health supplements right now that are leading the way is the liver health formula. Over 100 million Americans are sluggish because of a liver that is riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on pounds, make you feel tired. All that liver health formula will take care of that. It supports your liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down. Next is the lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, been there, done that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be for you. The natural ingredient in the lymph system formula helps gently flush extra fluids and toxins out of the body. Right now, you can get a limited time offer, 35% off right now. 35% off by going to purehealthresearch.com and using promo code LFA. That's Pure Health Research right now. Use promo code LFA and you'll get 35% off targeted products. I need something for this. I need something for that. They got it. And I want you to check out their reviews online. They are through the roof. purehealthresearch.com. Promo code LFA.
That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Pure Health Research, for being a part of the show. Appreciate that. And on we go. We go to People's Elbow. People's Elbow. We want tables, right? Top rope Tulsi Gabbard. She is launching herself off the top of the steel cage, off the top of the rope, off the top of the stadium, off the top of whatever, with the People's Elbow right on top of the deep state. It's unbelievable. The best part about it, as Stubbs just pointed out in the chat, is that she used to be a Democrat and they did her dirty. And now Top Rope Tulsi, this is a stupid tongue. Why did I come up with that? Top Rope Tulsi Gabbard is now she's now in the position of Director of National Intelligence. She's got access to all the things that they did to her, to Trump, etc. And she is on a warpath. It's like the laser eyes, right? It's a laser eyes meme. She is out for political blood. All right. The first thing that broke yesterday that was wild is that Vladimir Putin was holding back damaging intel on Hillary Clinton until after the election, assuming that she was going to win. Interesting. I thought Putin was helping Trump when I thought the Russians stole the election. Vladimir Putin apparently didn't even think the Russians were going to be able to steal the election. Here is Tulsi Gabbard and Caroline Levitt talking about yesterday some of the new findings and new releases when it comes to Spygate, Russiagate, and Obamagate.
Reagan. Thanks, Caroline. Director Gabbard, Reagan Reese with the Daily Caller. You laid out that the documents revealed that the Obama administration did not publish a December 2016 presidential daily briefing that demonstrated that Russia did not steal the election. Trump was receiving these briefings at the time because he was president-elect. Are you of the view that that information was kept out of the briefing because then President-elect Donald Trump would have seen it?
I don't have any documents that speak to exactly what the new guidance was that was given as the reason for pulling that document, which, by the way, still has never been published until we released it last week, Friday. One could assume that they didn't want President Trump to see a document that came from the intelligence community that would contradict the Russia hoax narrative that began through the Hillary Clinton campaign with the Steele dossier.
One more. Maybe either for you or Caroline. The president said yesterday that Obama committed treason. Do you or the White House believe that the Supreme Court's immunity decision protects Obama from prosecution?
Look, I can speak to the president's feelings on this matter. He spoke to all of you yesterday in the Oval Office, but I also spoke to him about this morning. And he wants to see all those who perpetuated this fraud against our country, who betrayed our country and the Constitution, to be thoroughly investigated and held accountable. And it's been 10 years of this. And I would just add, based on everything the director has said and declassified, all of you in this room should go through it and take a look at this report and review the intelligence, because unfortunately that hasn't happened. And many of the people who perpetuated this hoax, Clapper, Andy McCabe, James Comey, and many others, have been hired by major networks in this room to go on television and continue to spew these lies, knowing that they are lies. And if you all recall, just flashback to 2016 and the years after, the entire Trump 1 presidency was embroiled in this scandal that was perpetuated by the Democrat Party. And you had major Democrat Party officials in this city, namely Adam Schiff, Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren, who went on television and told the American people Donald Trump is an asset of Russia. It was a lie. They always knew it. Hillary Clinton herself said that President Trump would be a puppet for Putin. Senator Tim Kaine at the time called President Trump Vladimir Putin's defense lawyer. Adam Schiff stated, and one of the worst things a lawmaker can do is to tell the American people, I know something you don't know, it's just classified and I can't tell you. And that's what he said. I can tell you that the case is more than that. I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now. And not enough people in this room, not enough journalists in this country pushed Adam Schiff to say, what are you talking about? What evidence do you have? Everybody just ran with the lies, and it led to impeachments. It led to the division of our country. Unfortunately, so many Americans, from listening to outlets in this room, believed in these lies. And it's a complete scam, and it's a scandal, and the president wants to see accountability for that. Phil.
Thank you. I was a double people's elbow. From Tulsi Gabbard, she dropped the first elbow, and then Caroline Leavitt was like, oh yeah, and you journalists, you let these people on your airwaves, and people like Adam Schiff, and he lied, and you didn't push back. I was a double elbow. That's a tag team right there. Tag team of the year. Top rope Tulsi and Caroline Leavitt, who is, I think my favorite, you know what? She's definitely my favorite press secretary of the 2 Trump terms up until this point. She's great. I thought Sarah Huckabee Sanders was also great. And Kayleigh comes in third, I would say. Now, Kayleigh was also good. No disrespect to any of them, but I think Caroline Leavitt is just excellent. Mm-hmm. She's young. She's sharp. She's quick. Yeah. Right? And she speaks with conviction. And that's what she did there. She scolded him. She's bad baby, right? From Lila. That's what that was. It was a double people's elbow. Tulsi dropped the first elbow, and then Caroline Leavitt dropped the second elbow. It was like a people's nuclear elbow. Boom. It was a mushroom cloud coming out of the briefing room yesterday. Vladimir Putin apparently holding back on some damaging information on Hillary Clinton. There's Tulsi talking about that as well.
Megan. Thanks, Caroline. Director Gabbard, Reagan Reese with the Daily Caller. You laid out that the documents revealed that the Obama administration did not publish a December 2016 presidential daily briefing that demonstrated that Russia did not steal the election. Trump was receiving these briefings at the time because he was president-elect. Are you of the view that that information was kept out of the briefing because then President-elect Donald Trump would have seen it?
I don't have any documents that speak to exactly what the new guidance was that was given as the reason for pulling that document, which, by the way, still has never been published until we released it last week, Friday. One could assume
I already played that. There it is. That's the way my mind works these days. I literally just played that clip. And then I was like, here's the new clip. That's a bad one. That's a bad one.
That's okay.
That's a bad.
It's an easy mistake.
That's a Biden mistake. Listen, folks. Look, here's a deal. 5 minutes later, and look, here's a deal. I'm sorry. Okay, I meant to play this one. I'm sorry. It was I got tripped. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. Okay, how about this one though? Hillary Clinton on a daily regimen of tranquilizers in 2016. This is the one that I meant to just play. I meant to just introduce the wrong clip. Hillary Clinton on tranquilizers. This is very, very interesting. And we have the video. Remember the video of her getting tossed in a van like a sack of potatoes? Here's Tulsi Gabbard, top rope Tulsi again, dropping another elbow about Hillary.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia
and by the way, let me just real quick. Hillary Clinton, I think, came out and said that Tulsi Gabbard was a Russian asset not too long ago. You know, because everybody that Hillary Clinton doesn't like is Russian. Just like everybody who Elon doesn't like is on the Epstein list. Just like everybody who doesn't think Epstein is a big deal is a pedophile. Just like everybody who criticizes Donald Trump as a traitor. You know, these absolutes thing. Obi-Wan Kenobi was up to something, onto something when he said only a Sith deals in absolutes. Hillary Clinton did, I believe, accuse Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian asset. So I'm sure it brings Tulsi, top rope Tulsi, great joy to oil up that people's elbow and drop it off the top rope on Hillary
The
Clinton.
report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Tranquilizers, you say? Interesting. Could that be what happened here? There's Hillary. There she is. Kind of wobbly, right? Uh-oh. And getting ready to go in the van, right? And it's one bad step, another bad step, and there she goes. Okay. And they just throw her in the van. Get in the van, Hillary, you rotten sack of potatoes, you. Is that a part of the tranquilizers there? What do tranquilizers do? They tranquilize you, right? They make you weak and wobbly.
Very tranquil.
You know? When you shoot like an animal with a trank, it's like, right? And then you could do what you need to do with them. Yeah. It kind of looks like what happened with Hillary here, doesn't it? Right? Uh-oh. Here she is. There's the van. Open up the door, right? And she's, I don't know. They said she was cheerful too. Tulsi Gabbard said she was wobbly. All right, let's help her out. Oh no, that was a big drop off the sidewalk into the van. Load her up and get her out of there. So there you go. Top rope Tulsi Gabbard coming out and telling you that, hey, Hillary Clinton was on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers in 2016. Vladimir Putin also had a lot of information on crooked Hillary Clinton that he was getting ready to exploit had she won the election, which is very interesting. So it looks like Putin didn't have any blackmail on Trump. Remember, that was the thought was that Putin was blackmailing Trump, right? And so he's keeping Trump in line. Donald Trump is Vladimir Putin's puppet, this whole thing. But really, it was Putin hoping that Hillary Clinton had won, which we've been saying for 8 years, right? Who do you think would have been stronger / weaker when it comes to their dynamic with Vladimir Putin? Obviously, Donald Trump was the stronger choice. He was the one who was putting America first and positioning America in a stronger position on the world stage. Of course, Vladimir Putin would prefer Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton would have continued the exact same soft position when it comes to Russia that Obama had engaged in. Remember the reset button after the election, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, Vladimir Putin would have preferred Hillary, just like Vladimir Putin openly said he preferred Biden and preferred Kamala Harris to Donald Trump. But now we find out that it wasn't Putin that had blackmail on Trump. It was Putin that had damaging information on crooked Hillary. Quote, the intel community did not have any direct information that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help President Trump in 2016, as Caroline Levitt laid out. Okay. So there was the update there from Top Rope, Tulsi Gabbard, oiling up the people's elbow and dropping the people's elbow right on Hillary Clinton. And again, I think it feels good for Tulsi Gabbard, who was a member of the Democrat Party not that long ago, who was, she kind of drifted a little bit out of line, right? And they started getting pretty upset with her. And then all of a sudden, here comes crooked Hillary saying she's a Russian asset. Remember, in 2020, Tulsi Gabbard ran for president as a Democrat and was in the 2020 Democrat primary. Okay? And she was the one who ended essentially Kamala Harris's run in 2020. She was a Democrat not that long ago. And then they put her on a watch list, right? They weaponized the system against her. Now she's in that position. And I'm going to just give you one more thing to chew on before we get to a word from our friends at My Patriot Supply. But remember the fake stories that were kind of floating around, or the speculation, the rumors that were floating around about 3 or 4 weeks ago when Trump was weighing whether or not to strike Iran, and you had the people saying World War III, and the rumors that Tulsi Gabbard wasn't in the Situation Room and that Donald Trump was cutting her out of the process. Remember those rumors that were floating around? Is it possible that a bad actor kind of floated those rumors out into the political atmosphere there to try and cause friction between Donald Trump and Tulsi Gabbard because they knew that she was getting ready to uncover and release these files? Because that's the way the deep state likes to operate. And I know for a fact they like to operate when it comes to covering up Spygate. In the first Trump administration, whenever Spygate stuff started coming out, there was some sort of leak, or you would get some sort of anonymous source out of the Mueller probe, or something crazy would happen, and they would try and look over here. I think somebody was trying to undermine Tulsi Gabbard about a month ago when those stories were coming out that there was friction between Trump and Tulsi, because they knew Tulsi was oiling up the people's elbow, getting ready to jump off the top rope and drop an elbow on the deep state's throat. I think that's exactly what was going on. So think about that. Chew on that. What do you think? I think that's what the deep state was up to not too long ago. All right, a quick word from our friends over at My Patriot Supply. It is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned, mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Merry New Year! No, it's Christmas in July at mypatriotsupply.com. Folks, according to the Department of Energy, blackouts could increase by 10,000% over the next few years. It is because of massive energy demand from AI data centers, an aging fragile power grid that just can't keep up, among many other things. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like the idea of being without power. Not even for a day, not even for a few hours. That is why I want you to strongly consider checking out the Grid Doctor 3300 from mypatriotsupply.com. It is a powerful solar generator that runs refrigerators, AC units, medical devices, power tools, and anything else that you need to ride out a blackout. And right now, they're having a Christmas in July event. They are including over $1,000 in free survival gear with your generator, including an emergency food supply, water filtration, survival tools, and more. That is right. You heard that right. Over $1,000 in free gear for a limited time. Head to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. This is an amazing deal that you don't want to miss. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Check out the Grid Doctor 3300, which is EMP protected and powerful enough to run fridges, medical devices, and power tools, and get that free $1,000 worth of survival gear. mypatriotsupply.com Christmas in July bundle. That deal is ending soon. Check it out at mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That's mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Okay? Ready? Mm-hmm. I've been waiting to get to it. I didn't want to dominate the show with it, but this is happening. The Macrons, okay? Emmanuel Macron, Brigitte Macron, and I've never been a subscriber to this theory. This ridiculous story that Brigitte Macron, because she's an ugly woman, is somehow a man, okay? There's a difference. Okay, Bruce Jenner is a man. Leah Thomas is a man. Blair White is a man. Brigitte Macron is an ugly woman, okay? Look, are we going to look at the cast of The View, the bickering bovine, right? The Whoopi Goldberg? Whoopi Goldberg's an ugly woman. Do I think she's a man? No. Okay? Look, let's be completely and totally honest here. You got to have extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And I know in Candace Owens' series, there are French journalists that are saying that they got the scoop. So those people are now infallible? Unimpeachable? Candace Owens is going to lose in court. Okay? And if anybody wants to come out and say that, Macron and his wife just lost on appeal their defamation cases in France, they didn't lose it on the grounds that Brigitte Macron is a man. Go look up the ruling. You found out about the ruling. Read the ruling. The ruling does not make a statement or a ruling or a judgment on Brigitte Macron's biology. They made a ruling on whether or not the people they were suing did so out of malice. And the ruling from the appeals court in France was that the folks that the Macrons were suing didn't make the defamatory claims out of malice. Therefore, there's no case. That's where Candace Owens differs here. That's where this case differs here. She made a docuseries about it. She sold merch on it. She hyped it. She monetized it. She did so for personal gain out of malice. Okay, here you go. And by the way, now Candace is not helping herself because every time she opens her mouth, she says something stupid. Here she is yesterday responding to the lawsuit, digging herself an even deeper hole. Again, this is malicious. This is defamatory, and she's going to lose because of statements like this.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what discovery is for. We're going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay?
Oh, give me a break. On behalf of the entire world, you think the entire world gives a damn whether or not Brigitte Macron is a dude or not? Now, I'm not saying that there's a weird relationship between her and Emmanuel Macron. She was his teacher. It's kind of strange. Did she groom him? I don't know. But she better be able to prove the things that she said. Taking on this battle on behalf of the rest of the world. And you know what? People will go, she sounds really confident. Alex Jones sounded confident that the kids at Sandy Hook were actors and didn't actually die, too. Until he was sued into oblivion. If you're going to make sensational claims, you better have sensational evidence. And your sensational evidence better not be other sensationalists saying, trust me, bro. I think she's screwed. Do you think Macron would waste his time on a case like this if he didn't think he could win?
No.
Not a chance. She's screwed. Absolutely. I don't care who that offends. Okay? You think that you're defending a man in a dress. As a matter of fact, no. These are the same people, by the way, some of them who think Blair White is a thought leader. Blair White. Tranny! Candace Owens is going to lose that case. You could bookmark it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think she's going to lose. I strongly believe she's going to lose that. Or it's going to settle. Settle. She's in trouble because of statements like that. Because Candace has never been wrong a day in her life, right? According to Candace. All right, Jeremy Harrell up next with Live from America. For the next what? We got to go. It's 10 o'clock.
I know.
We got to go. We got to go now.
Great McGroin's anniversary, 26 years.
Great McGroin. Happy anniversary, Great McGroin. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm sorry, it's 10. I didn't realize that was happening. We got to run. Jeremy Harrell up next with Live from America. Over the course of the next 2 hours, as President Trump says, we will never give up. We will never give in. We will never, ever surrender. As John Fetterman says, as John Fetterman says, good night, everybody. Bang gavel. Happy anniversary to Great McGroin. 26 years. I think it's Cleeselli's birthday in the chat as well. Sorry we didn't get to that. 10 o'clock jumped on me. I had no idea. So happy anniversary to Gary. Happy birthday to Clee. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you guys watching and supporting. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you share and have a great rest of your day. We're back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yes, we're back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, rumble.com/LFA TV. Until then, have a great rest of your day, and thank you for your attention to this matter.